Hey, everybody. It's me, Tiffany the Budgetnista. And we're live if you're watching live. If you're watching this later, that's great too. And I brought with me the one, the only, Alanya. She's like the superstar of,
Thank you. Thank you.
of the stock intensive because I literally know this much about stocks and investing. And so I asked Alanya to come on board to be the instructor, and she has been awesome. So all of the material that you're getting, Alanya has just put it together for us. I mean, we've had someone to kind of put it into the categories and stuff that we have, but it's all Alanya's information, and she's here to educate. So there's a difference. So for example, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a financial educator. My job is to teach you how to get to the conclusion that you're looking for. It is not my job to say, buy this, do that. No, it's to say, here's all the information and here's what it means. And so Alanya's job is to do the exact same thing. It's not her job to say, girl, you better get Coke. Girl, you better jump on this Poland Spring stock. That is not her job. Her job is to teach you how to assess, how to analyze, how to read certain things, and how to judge for yourself what is the best stock and best way to go about purchasing that stock. So she is an educator just like me. So we're not financial advisors. So let's just make sure. And I know you guys know that, but it bears repeating because we're not playing with this legal stuff. So tonight, Alanya is going to take your questions and she is going to just kind of set the expectation of what the intensive is all about. And really, I know that you guys probably have, because it's only day 2, but you guys have already had really great questions. So if you have them and you're watching live, please ask them. So you can ask, and Alanya, I will give you the floor.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited that we're finally kind of rolling in class. And as we move along a little bit with class, I just wanted to talk to you guys about what it is we're doing here. So what I am helping you figure out is just one method of many methods to evaluate stocks to figure out whether something is a buy or not. So we are going to be going over a lot of numbers and calculations and different metrics, and it's going to feel like a lot of information. This is actually, I teach this class, and it's like about a 40-hour class, all told. Once students go through, and then they go through again, and they do their homework and all this stuff. So what we're doing is really just doing the basics over these 22 days, and getting you all the information that you need to get you to purchase a stock at the end of everything, and actually do it and feel confident and know that you looked at what needs to be looked at and know that you are making a smart investment decision. So we do kind of, especially when we move into next week, we're going to be moving kind of quickly. And so I just want to, just reassure you guys that this is not something that you need to grasp everything perfectly every single day. This is, as long as you're in the academy, this will be available for you to go back and review it and look at it. That's the great thing about your membership here. So you have access to all this information. And just because we're working on it one day at a time all together, that does not mean that you have to have everything totally committed to memory.
Yes.
And having done this now once, I know it when somebody asks a question, like I can even just read it when they type it out, when they're like freaking out, so they're like, I don't understand what this is. And, they're kind of spazzing out because they really want to get it right. And I admire that so much. I love that about my students. They're so excited. You guys are too. You guys are going to nail this down. But I just want to remind you that, in 3rd grade, simple multiplication felt very difficult. It's anything that's brand new is going to feel very overwhelming when you're first presented with it. So I just want you guys to, anytime you feel like, oh, this is too much, just take a deep breath, message me, or better yet, ask right in the group, because other people probably have the same question. It's not just you. You're not behind. You're not slow. You're not like on the short bus. A lot of people said that.
Can I make a suggestion? So, I was a
Sure.
I was a school teacher for over 10 years. And one thing that I learned is that when you teach, you learn twice. So I'll say that again.
Absolutely.
So what that means is if every day, I see you, Camille, I see Simone, I see you, the Pickens, Angela, that every day, if you can share one or two or even three things that you've learned from that day in the group, effectively, you are reteaching that to us. And when
Absolutely.
So when you reiterate it, it only helps to solidify that knowledge in your mind. That's going to help significantly, because as you start typing things out, you're like, wait,
yeah,
I kind of understand dividends.
I do, yes, exactly. And that is actually in my notes that I was going to bring up today. When I decided I was going to start teaching, people were asking me for this class. I did not come up with this class. People were like, you need to teach me how to do this. And so finally I was like, okay, I'll make a class. So, but then I was talking to my husband in private, and I was like, I don't know if I'm good enough to do this. I know that I'm a good investor, but I don't know if I'm quite, but then I started creating the class and I was like, girl, you got this. Like you don't realize how much you know and how much you've absorbed until you are explaining it to somebody else. And that is absolutely what I wanted to bring up. What if you are, helping each other in the group, if somebody has a question on this, maybe you don't get this part that much, but you do get that, what was asked. If you can go back and tell them, and, when you're explaining it, you will feel so much more confident, and you'll realize how much you actually know if you're, kind of talking about it with others in the group. So like I said, reach out to me, please. Don't just feel frustrated or, hide in a corner or, stop doing class or anything, because this is so important for you and your family and your future. So I'm here to help. I 100% want to help you. Are we still, I lost you for a second.
Oh, you did? Okay. No, I'm here.
Okay, good. Okay, so also I wanted to touch on, I know that people are very intimidated by not only the information provided, but just the stock market in general. I just want to reiterate that what we're learning is very long-term strategy. So, especially with the election results, there's going to be a lot of volatility in the market. And what I'm teaching you is how to not evaluate stocks. What we're doing is evaluating businesses. So instead of looking at Pepsi as a stock and the way that it moves in the market, and this is just an example, I'm not saying buy Pepsi, but we're not looking at, a chart to see the way it moves in the market. We're looking at Pepsi as a business. We're looking at its cash flow. We're looking at its revenues. We're looking at its operating expenses. Those are the things that we're going to be learning about. So we have a very long-term strategy. So if you see things come down and you see things go up, that is totally normal. I can't say that enough, so that you aren't freaking out when you see, you look at your watch list, which we're going to be keeping, and see everything is down. It's not the sky is falling. Smart investors know that that's when that's time to buy. If the company is still solid, we'll talk about that a little bit more too. So I just wanted to reiterate, we're going to talk about the difference between trading, which is just like kind of swapping in and out of stocks to make some quick money, and actually investing and holding for the long term. So we'll talk about that too. So
Alania's posted this thing on her Facebook page. If you guys have never heard of oh my gosh, what is the Omaha, what is his name, Alania? Why am I forgetting?
Warren Buffett.
Yes, I don't even know how. So anyway, Warren Buffett is one of the richest men in the world. And yes, he is he's Bank Bay, right? And so
yeah.
They asked, Alania posted this on her personal Facebook page. Someone asked Warren Buffett before the election results came out, so who do you think is better for your finances, basically, if Hillary should win or if Donald Trump should win? And he said, and this is where we want you to get to, either way, I'll be fine. Because when you're a smart investor, which is what Alania, we're literally just scratching the surface of it, but you'll get there eventually as you keep going on. But if you're a smart investor, you recognize that even as the world goes up and down, that you've put your money in such a place, in such a way that either way, you still balance out and you still come out on top. And
exactly.
So that's what he's teaching us, the foundation. So know this is literally the prerequisite to to your investing life. So just like when I was teaching you guys how to budget and say, and that was the prerequisite for your financial life, like budgeting doesn't make wealth, but you need it to budget so you can build upon that. So right now, Alanya, it's not like you're like, woohoo, after this course, I'm gonna be Warren Buffett. Not quite. But what it does mean is that she's gonna lay a strong foundation so that way you can leap from here and go. Because Alanya, how long have you been doing this?
I've been investing for about 7 years now. 7
years, you hear that? So it takes time. And so this is like, I mean, I bet you this is like the course like that you wish you had when you first started. Somebody to cut through all the crap.
My gosh. I could have gotten like probably a year of my life back, because I was just, sifting through all this information everywhere, reading books and websites and stuff. So yeah, this is definitely the fast track to learning what's important and what isn't. So
do you want to take any questions now, or do you want to?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a question from Jacqueline. She said, if you have a Roth IRA, is it a must that you buy stock? Or is buying stock just making your money go faster? I'm not sure what you mean, but
I think I know what she means. So people get confused because when they have a 401k, they usually just contribute their money to it and it's automatically invested for them. If they don't choose something different, it automatically usually will get put into like a target date fund. So you don't realize that you're actually invested in an actual investment product, but you are. So it's not the account that makes the money. You actually have to hold investments. So in your 401k, whether you realize it or not, you do hold investments. They have a default one if you don't choose something else. So yes, you do need to purchase investments in your Roth IRA. Otherwise, it just sits there. It's just cash just sitting there. It doesn't even, some of the larger brokerages do pay a small bit of interest, but I mean, interest is just kind of a joke right now anyway. So it really doesn't do anything for you. So yes, you do need to buy investments. You can either buy stocks or you could choose something like, there are a lot of different products, and this is like a whole separate class, but there are like different funds you could be in where it's just like a blend of stocks that you're invested in, which is like what your 401k is kind of. So yes, you do need to choose investments, or what you can do is choose something called a robo-advisor, which would be an automatic, like Trade King has a program where it's automatically invested for you, and you do pay for that. There is a fee attached to that, but it's very low for the robo-advisor as opposed to having an actual, person, financial advisor investing for you. So there are some options if you don't want to actually choose your stocks. I hope that you will want to, because as I mentioned before, you get better quality if you actually learn and know what you're looking for, and you can choose, the good ones and leave all the yuck alone. But if you don't want to, later on, I'll have a class on how to invest passively that way, so you don't have to choose your own investments.
Okay. And like I said, the good thing is, go ahead.
I was going to say, don't just contribute and leave it sit there in Trade King, because you won't make any money. It's just sitting in cash. You're not even making a little bit of interest or anything. It's just straight cash.
Yeah. So people don't realize that when it comes to cash, that if you're leaving just your money sitting there, you're actually losing money. Money that is not growing
every day.
Yes, because there's something called inflation, right? So what inflation really means is that this lip gloss was $2 or $3 a few years ago. Now it's $6. That's inflation. That means the same thing costs more money over time. So what that means is,
actually have
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I have a really good image that I'll post. Okay. I have saved that I'll post later, so it kind of explains a little bit. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So like, this is like my favorite lip. People ask me, what lip gloss? I'm like, Burt's Bees. It's Burt's Bees. I don't know who makes Smooch by Burt's Bees, right? So what that means is, like, let's just say I have $100, and I'm like, girl, I'm trying to keep this $100 safe. So I keep it home, or I keep it in a savings account that doesn't earn me any money. So this $100 can buy. Right now, let's just say this lip gloss is $5. This $100 can buy 20 lip glosses. 10 years from now, this lip gloss is $10. This same $100 can now only buy 10 lip glosses. The $100 is actually worth less over time. The only way to preserve that 100 is it has to grow. Investing is really the only way to wealth. that you can't save your way to wealth, because just keeping money where it is, actually the money becomes less and less valuable over time. It has to grow just to keep the pace with inflation, just to be worth what it used to be worth before. And so that's why investing, like I said, it's so critical, because especially in our communities, I'm sure you noticed that most of the dream catchers and dream builders are brown, right? Although we welcome everyone. But
they are? No.
but what's critical in our community is that investing is still so new. It's like the secret thing that no one kind of pulled us aside, and learned about. And this is why I wanted it, like Alanya reached out to me and said, Tiffany, I'm getting so many questions from dream catchers and dream builders about investing. I'd love to do something. And I said yes, because honestly, it's not something that even I learned. My dad knew how to invest and didn't teach me that. And so it's time for all of that to stop. That's why we're doing what we're doing now. So I'm super excited. So what else did you said you're gonna share, like a graph to kind of explain?
Oh yeah, I do have a graphic about that. And because like you said, if you keep it in cash, it loses value every day. But even right now with our interest rates the way they are, it still loses value even in a savings account. So, I mean, if you are only earning 1% and interest and inflation averages about 2.5%, 3% right now, you're still losing money every day if you're leaving the bulk of your money in just savings.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Do you guys have any other questions? Today was really so just so you know, if you're watching live, just so you know, one day a week we'll do like a video lesson. Today's lesson was not so much a lesson, more so like a check-in, because we just wanted to see how you're feeling, some of the things that you learned, are you excited? Are you nervous? What don't you get? If there's something you don't get, now's the time. Alanya is here to break it down for you. So we'll be doing this live lesson once a week. If you sign up for text messages, if you're not watching live, disregard this piece. But if you sign up for text messages, then you'll get like a reminder, like, hey, there's a live lesson tonight, so that way you don't miss out. And you'll so have your questions kind of ready. I know by next week you'll have questions ready. They'll always be at this time. It won't be like always a Tuesday or whatever today is, but they'll always be around this time. And Alanya is really heavy inside the Facebook group, our Dream Catchers, Dream Builders Literature Academy group. So you can always ask questions there. And Alanya also has, you have you do your own next level investment course, right?
Yes. Yep. That one is it's Zero to Investor, and that one is it's the same stuff learned here. So you're going to learn what's in that course, but it's just a little bit. It's work at your own pace, and then there are more videos and animated slides, and then there's kind of a storyline, and then we have an exclusive study group community where it's just stock talk all the time. So that's been super helpful as far as helping people along and helping them stay motivated and just working together and stuff. So people have really enjoyed the course. And towards the end, if you feel like you want some more support, then we'll be able to offer you a discount on the course. So
yeah, that would be awesome. So distinctive one, and these will all be half an hour because we don't want them to go too long. These live lessons. So Camille, will the lessons be taped? No. So only one lesson a week will be like this. So today is kind of not so much a lesson, more so like a check-in, but only one a week. The rest of them will be inside the academy just the way you see them. Honestly, all of the lessons, all of the days are already there. If you wanted to move ahead, you certainly could, but we're all kind of working together on it day by day. So Distinctive One says, I have a TDA, tax-deferred account, that I contribute toward. Is it wise to take the money that I'm investing toward my TDA and put it toward my Roth instead, or should I invest in both?
It depends on if you're getting a match or not. If it's through your employer, if you're getting a match, just take the match. I mean, a dollar for dollar match. You you don't want to mess with that and try to do better in your Roth or IRA. Just take the match. But if you are not getting a match, then my opinion, and for most people, a Roth IRA is going to make more sense, especially if you really pick up this stock investing thing, and you're just, contributing regularly and wanting to buy yourself, plant yourself a bunch of little money tree seeds. then yeah, I would definitely do a Roth, do it in your Roth instead. It'll be better in the long run, even though you do get a little tax break now.
Okay. And then Angela asks, I got a nice tax refund. Should I place it in my Roth or my regular IRA, or does it matter?
Well, it just depends. If you want to take I don't know if you saw the video last night where we talked about the difference between a traditional account and a Roth account. The traditional account is going to give you a tax break now, so you don't have to count that as taxable income. That's the break they give you now. If you put it in your Roth, it's counted as taxable income. Whatever you had to pay on taxes on it when you got it, that's what was paid. So then you contribute that, and then it grows tax free for the rest of your life, and then it will grow tax free for your spouse or children for their lives also. So I'm a fan of Roth IRAs. A couple people really need to. There was one year where I was contributing to my traditional IRA because it was going to keep us underneath a certain tax bracket that I didn't want to be in. So, you can be strategic like that, but for the most part, I would say a Roth IRA is going to leave you with more money than a traditional, because either you're taxed now on the smaller contributions with a Roth IRA, or you're taxed later after your money has grown to this huge amount and you're taxed at regular income tax rates. So that's the difference there, as far as usually you're going to end up paying more later on if you wait to pay your taxes in retirement.
So, okay. So because it took me a little while to get Roth to traditional IRA. So traditional IRA looks like this. Think about it as like, before you get your money, before you get your take-home pay, the money is taken out. And so it makes your take-home pay less, so that means you get taxed less on that take-home pay. So there's a tax benefit of paying less taxes if you have a traditional regular IRA. The Roth IRA is different. You get your take-home pay and you say, you know what? The take-home pay has already been taxed. And you take some of that already taxed money and put it in a Roth. Because it's already been taxed, the government says it can grow in this account tax-free. You pay taxes before you put it in this account. And then it grows and grows and grows and grows in tax-free, and you can enjoy tax-free money, your kids, your spouse, everyone. So typically, people really prefer Roth IRAs, but traditional IRAs allow you to pay less taxes on the money that you get to take home. So there's benefits to both. And what I would say is, remember, Alanya is a financial educator, or a stock investment educator, not an advisor. So I would ask, if you're trying to figure out what's best for your taxes, to ask an accountant. So you want to have a money team. And so your money team is like an accountant, your significant other. You might have a lawyer if you have a business. So people who that is their specialty. And when it comes to taxes, your accountant that's going to be their specialty. So I have an accountant. So I'm listening to what Alanya is saying, and I'm like, let me ask Carlos, my accountant, what he thinks is best for me, because he knows all of my ins and outs financially. So
perfect. Yes.
Let's see. Butterbeans, I always love your name. He has a 401k that she'd like to roll over into a Roth IRA. Why does she have to roll over all of it, the entire amount, instead of dividing it into different accounts? Do you have to roll over? I don't know.
That would depend on whoever's holding your old. First of all, it has to be an old 401k. Usually, if you still work there, they won't let you roll it over. But if it's an old 401k, it just depends on who's holding it, whether they will let you break it up or have to take it all at once. Now, if you decide that you want to just have it all cashed out and given to you, you can do that without taxes or penalty, as long as you deposit it into a qualifying retirement account within, I think it's 100 or maybe it's 90 days. To be safe, I'd say just do it as soon as possible. Just, when you get the check, take it and deposit it right into another retirement account. And then you can split it up however you want to that way. But they might not be willing to, split it up for you and send it in a bunch of different directions. Is that the question?
Yeah. So you're saying that if you're asking someone else to roll it over in full, they likely won't do that. So if she wanted to do it, she would have to take the money out and then put it where she wanted to put it. Okay. But you
Right. And just make sure you do it quickly, because if if you hang on to the check for, 8 months or whatever, they will charge you taxes and count you as like just taking it in cash. So, and then also usually when you take a traditional 401k, one that was the pre-tax money, and you are rolling it over into an IRA, they make you put it into a traditional account first, which would give you the same tax situation with the pre-tax money. And then they make you convert it to a Roth, which then you would have to pay taxes on the amount that you convert. So that, because you haven't paid taxes on that money yet, but they make you put it into an IRA to make it an IRA, and then they make you convert it into a Roth from a traditional IRA. And I hope I didn't confuse anybody with that.
Yeah, I know. But you know what's going to end up happening, guys? Because what's going to end up happening, like before, I used to be like raw, traditional, I don't know what all those things mean, IRA. But when you hear them enough times, and you see how Alanya taught you what the difference between Roth and traditional IRA was, and I taught it again, it was because I was being selfish. Because I knew if I said it, that was like, oh, I got it. So what I want you to do is, if you can teach someone the difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA, that means you got it. So show someone, type it in the group. Remember, when you teach, you learn twice. All right, so let's see. Is somebody else had a question. Jacqueline says, can we open more than one Roth IRA type account?
Yes, you can. You can have as many IRA accounts as you want, but the contribution limit stays the same. So you can have 10 IRAs, but between all of them, you can still only put $5,500 a year, or $6,500 if you are 50 years or older. So you don't get like, $5,500 in each. They just want to make sure that you aren't putting extra money in there to grow tax-free.
Okay. Does anybody have any other questions? Don't be shy. Okay, Alanya, if you could talk to Alanya 7 years ago, what would you have said to her? Like what, so for those of you who are just kind of joining us, Alanya said that she started investing about 7 years ago. And that's when she was a brand newbie, basically where most of us are now. So I would love to know what more seasoned Alanya would say to Alanya when she first started. So that way we can learn from that.
I guess I would say, well, first of all, when it came to my personal finance, I started very small. I was poor. I didn't have money, all that stuff. So at first I was just putting little tiny bits aside. And then once I saw my money growing, I was like, oh my, why didn't anybody teach me how to do this? So then I started I did it backwards. I started investing first, and then I went back and redid my budget because I saw the power of my money working. So I wanted to find more money to invest. So what I did was then, stop paying the overdraft fees, stop paying the late fees, stop wasting my money, because I'm like, now I'm looking at this, $25 late fee, and that could have been, thousands of dollars had I put it away, had I put it away and had it working for me. So really, it's just put the money away, figure out your strategy. Even if stock investing doesn't feel like your thing, figure out what you're going to do with it to make it grow, whether you invest in real estate, whether you end up, investing in funds or whatever. Make your money grow. That is the most important thing that you can do. So I wish somebody had told me that, when I was 18 in high school. I wouldn't even be here. I'd be on my island somewhere. So I just, if I had seen the power of it earlier, I feel like I would have been better off. But that's all of us. So the other thing too is not to, if you read the guide from day one, that was where I kind of talked a little bit about trying to get into like day trading and stuff. And, just right now, focus on the long term. Focus on long-term wealth. You might think you got this, and you might want to like do a little options or a little day trading and stuff. And right now, just get really good at putting that money away to grow for you long-term. And then once you have a good handle on that, then maybe get educated on the other stuff. But don't try to mess around and get greedy and lose a bunch of money like I did, because I was salty. I was so sad.
We have literally like 2 more minutes, so we're gonna wrap up. But Nia
Okay.
asked, my daughter is sitting here with me. Hey, Nia's daughter. She's 17, which I think is awesome. Can she start investing at 17?
She absolutely can. Well, not technically. So it's awesome that she's interested. Like Spencer chooses his holding. You saw Spencer telling you all about dividends. He's like all up in his accounts. Like, did my dividends come in today? And he's 8 years old. So yeah, I think if she's interested, that is amazing. She does have to have a custodial type account. Whether if she works, she can have a Roth IRA. If she doesn't work, she can have a custodial investment account. And so what you guys would have to do is go into it together, and she can, kind of choose her stocks and all that stuff. But when she turns 18, then it automatically becomes her account. So.
Okay, awesome. And then I think it's going to be our last question, because we're really trying to keep it down to half an hour. Simone says, in regards to age, is it when you turn 50 that the deposit amount increases, or 51? I'm not sure what she means.
I don't think anybody's ever asked me this before. I think when you're 50, you get to, because yeah, I see why there's a question, because it's like you can't withdraw from your Roth IRA or from any of your retirement accounts until you're 59 and a half. So you have to wait until that next calendar year after you turn 59 before you can start withdrawing. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess I'm going to look at that afterwards, because I don't think anybody's ever asked me that before. But I think it's just when you turn 50, that's when you can start contributing more, the year that you turn 50. But I'll look and see, and if it's different, I will, I'll check it out and see and post if it's different.
All right, y'all. So we hope that you enjoyed. We will see you next week. Alanya will be teaching a live lesson. I don't remember what day it is, but it's inside the Friday, next Friday. Well, I mean, like if you're watching this not live, disregard that time. It doesn't. Do you know what number that day that is? Of the
that is day. I don't want to say it wrong. I don't know.
Don't even worry about it. I think it's like day 14 or something like that, or day. I want to
12.
say,
I want to say.
Yeah, day 12 PE ratio.
Yeah.
So on day 12, we'll be live again. And if you're not watching live, that's okay. You'll be able to watch the video still. There'll be about half an hour. Alanya and I will come on. She will teach a specific task, and I will be here to say, I don't understand what you mean, on your behalf. Thank you so much, Alanya. You are the absolute rock star. I'm so glad that we have you.
Thank you. I'm so excited for you guys. So just ask your questions in group, and deep breath, no big deal. We got this.
And remember, in the Facebook group. So
yes.
So when we're live, we give you the special link, but in the Facebook group, if you have follow-up questions, that's the place to ask. All right, y'all.
Yep.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.